Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we are tackling a subject where precision literally saves lives: cooking and hot holding in education and care settings. Look, when you're serving food to vulnerable people, like young kids, the elderly, or folks who are already unwell, there is absolutely zero room for error. So today, we're breaking down the exact, verifiable numbers you need to know to keep the people you care for perfectly safe. So let me ask you this right off the bat. Are you guessing if the food is safe? In our own home kitchens, we might occasionally eyeball a chicken breast or rely on our sense of smell to tell if something's done. But in education and care settings, the stakes are just incredibly high. The people eating the meals you prepare often have developing or compromised immune systems. A mild upset stomach for a healthy adult, that can easily become a life-threatening situation for them. So I want to firmly remind you right at the top of our time together today, guessing simply isn't an option. We absolutely have to rely on hard, verifiable numbers. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we mean. It's a literal map for navigating the entire life cycle of a hot meal. As you work your way from the cooking zone at the top, down into that massive warning zone in the middle, and finally into chilling at the bottom, temperature control is literally everything. For today's explainer, we're focusing entirely on the top half of this journey. We are talking all about using heat to destroy invisible threats. But before we talk about the heat, we need to know exactly what we're fighting: the danger zone. This is that critical temperature range between 5 degrees and 63 degrees Celsius. Why is this our absolute worst enemy? Because this is the comfortable, cozy little environment where harmful bacteria, the exact kind that cause severe food poisoning, multiply incredibly rapidly. It's like a bacterial breeding ground. Our entire goal during cooking and hot holding is to aggressively push the food out of this zone and keep it out. We are fighting with heat, and we absolutely have to win. So, how do we actually win this fight? Well, it starts right here with our primary defense mechanism: 75 degrees Celsius. Lock this number into your memory right now. Thorough cooking destroys most harmful bacteria, but it only works if the core temperature, meaning the absolute thickest part and the very center of the food, hits this exact mark. This is especially crucial for high-risk foods like poultry, minced meats, and sausages, which are notorious culprits for food poisoning if they're undercooked. Hitting 75 degrees guarantees that the heat has penetrated all the way through, neutralizing the threat entirely. Now, there is an equivalent safe cooking requirement you can use: 70 degrees Celsius maintained for 2 whole minutes. Depending on what you're cooking and the specific flow of your kitchen, holding that 70-degree mark for a full 120 seconds provides the exact same bacterial kill rate as hitting 75 degrees instantly. But remember, the numbers are really just part of the story. You also need visual confirmation. Meat juices must run perfectly clear, and there should be absolutely no pink meat remaining where relevant. The golden rule: when in doubt, cook it longer. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we verify it. You can't just guess if the core has reached 75 degrees. You absolutely must use a food probe. But here's the thing: a dirty probe is just a bacteria delivery device, so you need a strict, active procedure. Step 1, clean and disinfect the probe. Step 2, insert it directly into the thickest part or the exact center of the food. Step 3, verify you've hit that 75-degree target or 70 degrees for 2 minutes. And crucially, Step 4, clean and disinfect it all over again before you put it away or check the very next dish. Of course, none of those previous steps actually matter if your equipment is lying to you. You must calibrate your probe regularly for accuracy. Here's a surprising fact: just dropping a probe on the floor one single time can be enough to knock it out of calibration. A completely standard way to test accuracy in a professional kitchen is testing the probe against iced water, which should read exactly 0 degrees, and boiling water, which should read exactly 100 degrees Celsius. If your safety readings are inaccurate, they're just giving you a false sense of security, and honestly, that is worse than useless. Okay, let's transition to the day-to-day reality of care and education settings. You've cooked the food perfectly, but in a busy school canteen or a busy care home, you aren't always serving it the exact second it comes out of the oven, right? This brings us to the hot holding phase, and the magic number here is 63 degrees Celsius. Think of 63 degrees as your absolute safety floor. If you recall our danger zone from earlier, 63 is the top edge of it. By keeping hot food held for service at or above this exact temperature, you are preventing any surviving bacteria from creeping back in and multiplying. But we really need to clarify exactly how to maintain that 63-degree floor safely, because there is a very common and very dangerous mistake made here all the time. Safe hot holding means keeping food warm using a preheated bain-marie or a hot cabinet. unsafe practice is trying to use that exact same hot holding equipment to actively reheat cold food. You have to remember this. Bain-maries only maintain heat. They do not cook. If you put lukewarm food into a bain-marie, it's just going to slowly warm up, sitting directly inside that 5 to 63-degree danger zone for an extended period of time, creating a massive bacterial breeding ground. Now, there is one strict exception to the 63-degree rule, the 2-hour exception window. Food can dip below 63 degrees, but only for a single period of up to 2 hours. Let's say a tray of food is out for service in a dining hall. The minute it drops below 63, you start the clock. Once that 2 hours is up, you only have 3 legal options. It must be used immediately, it must be reheated safely one single time, or it must be thrown away. Absolutely no exceptions. Let's move to and see how this builds into our final phase, reheating. If you're going to reheat food, whether it's from a hot hole that cooled down or straight from the fridge, this is your critical minimum temperature, 70 degrees Celsius. When you reheat, you're essentially resetting the bacterial clock, and you need significant heat to do that safely. The core of the food must reach at least 70 degrees to ensure that any bacteria that multiplied while the food cooled are thoroughly and completely destroyed. However, it's really important to note that the law varies slightly depending on where you are actually operating. If you are a food handler working up in Scotland, the law dictates a much higher standard for reheating. In Scotland, reheating strictly requires the core of the food to reach 82 degrees Celsius. So, it's absolutely crucial to always follow the specific legal requirements for your specific region to ensure full compliance and, most importantly, the safety of those you are serving. So, the crucial point is that reheating isn't just a matter of tossing a plate in the microwave and hoping for the best. You have to follow strict rules. First up, food must be reheated to piping hot all the way through. Second, and this is a really big one, you can only ever reheat food once. Multiple reheatings just expose the food to that danger zone over and over again. Third, if you're using a microwave, you absolutely must stir the food and check it thoroughly because microwaves heat unevenly, creating cold spots where bacteria can easily survive. Always observe the manufacturer's standing times to let the heat distribute properly. And the golden rule at the bottom, if it isn't hot enough, keep heating. Never ever serve lukewarm food. Let's end with this absolutely fantastic takeaway. When in doubt, check the temperature. Guessing isn't on the menu. Whether you're a teaching assistant serving afternoon snacks or a registered manager at a care home, you are the final line of defense. The numbers we've covered today, the 5 to 63 danger zone, the 75-degree cooking core, the 63-degree hot hold, these aren't just bureaucratic red tape. They are the exact mathematical formulas for keeping vulnerable people safe from harm. You have the tools, you have the food probes, and now you have the numbers to lock down food safety. So the real question to ask yourself the next time you step into the kitchen is this. Are you willing to let a single degree compromise someone's health, or are you going to prove it's safe every single time?